So I've already made the video about 30 teams that were created in NBA 2K21, but there was 60 in total, so I'm going to cover the next 30 and how cool they are that you can download them today on PS5 for NBA 2K21. ¿Qué pasa to the pack? It is Pack here,
aka your mama's best friend.
Before this video starts, please be an OG, join the pack and subscribe, and let's check these 30 teams out. So you have to search, go to online ID and search up Pellegrino 1978. Okay, so you're gonna go to the Historic Teams Volume 2. That is going to be the team that you have to pick, or I guess the roster you have to pick, right? And these are the other 60. So some of these are actually pretty crazy. So when the Philadelphia 76ers were going through their trust the process phase, right before that, they were actually still pretty decent. And that team was Andre Iguodala when he was the best player. Elton Brand was on the team. Drew Holiday was pretty new but pretty good. Lou Williams on the team. Thaddeus Young was on the team. This team talent-wise was really deep and raw. Evan Turner. Very good team. I'm happy they added this team because that's a pretty solid team. Really cool one to have. This next one with the Bucks with Michael Redd. Brandon Jennings is on the team, I believe, as a rookie, but getting buckets. Andrew Bogut was on this team as well when he was one of the top picks in the draft. Jerry Stackhouse, a little older, but was on the team. Pretty deep team, but not the coolest one to use, right? But a cool one. They even created Brandon Jennings himself, so that's kind of nice. The Bulls. This one with Jimmy Butler and Dwayne Wade were on the team at the same time. This team was okay. Like, they weren't bad at all. It's just they weren't great either. But Nikola Mirotic was on the team. Rajon Rondo, Taj Gibson, Robin Lopez was all on the team. Bobby Portis, Michael Carter-Williams. The best part about this team, I think, is how, well, this roster in general, is how good this dude's face scans are. That looks exactly like Nikola Mirotic, in my opinion. That's really good. Now, for the Cleveland Cavaliers, this is LeBron James. He's had a lot of Cleveland teams, and all these Cleveland teams, the Cavs are trying their best to make a team pretty decent and hope the team was good enough to get anywhere in the playoffs. But they had three centers. It was LeBron, freaking Ilgauskas, Ben Wallace on the team, and Varejao, that's pretty good at the time. Mo Williams on the team, which is a pretty good player to have. Wally was on the team. Like, they had some players to, oh, damn, they even had Delonte West. Damn, that is an amazing player scan of Delonte West. That's crazy. But yeah, really good. This Celtics team of Paul Pierce, Rondo, Kevin Garnett, and Shaq. Ooh, I kind of like that they added this roster, bro. This is one of the craziest starting five in NBA history. Yes, Shaq was completely out of his prime. But if you look at his stats that year, okay, he was playing way less minutes, obviously because he was very much out of shape. But, like, his per 36 really weren't that bad that year. I mean, I would take a 81 overall Shaq in 2K every day on this team. That'd be so fun to use. And they still had Jeff Green, Marquise Daniels, Nate Robinson was on this team. So cool. And Delonte West. For the Clippers with Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, with Chauncey Billups, with Caron Butler. This was one of the earlier years of Lob City, from my understanding, before Doc Rivers, with Eric Bledsoe on the team as well. Kenyon Martin, goddamn, Nick Young, Mo Williams. This team was stacked. Goddamn. Now for the Grizzlies, we have Marc Gasol, and kind of their, I don't think this was the conference final years. I think it was the year before. But look at this team, bro. It was Marc Gasol, Zach Randolph, Mike Conley, Rudy Gay in his prime, OJ Mayo when he was good, Jason Williams on the team, Shane Battier, like DeMarre Carroll. Like, I don't know how this team didn't win more than what they did. I don't think this was a conference finals team from my understanding, but this is still a really good team. For the Atlanta Hawks, I think this is the team. It's not the team that had 5 All-Stars, but it was the team the year after when they had Dennis Schroeder on the team. So Paul Millsap, Al Horford, Jeff Teague, Kyle Korver, Dennis Schroeder with DeMarre Carroll. Elton Brand was on the team as well, Kent Bazemore, and Pedo Antich. Oh my gosh, I forgot about him, bro. Well, this one's a really cool team. It's a little nice one that wasn't great, but it's kind of a cool one. For the Miami Heat, we have a Dwayne Wade, Michael Beasley when he was really good on the Heat. I think this was rookie season, Michael Beasley, when Quentin Richardson was on the team, Adonis Haslam, Jermaine O'Neal. This was, I believe, the season after Shaq, and so they were trying to figure out how to be good without Shaq, and it wasn't enough. Oh, they had Carlos Arroyo as well. Pretty cool team. So for the Charlotte Hornets, so this is actually officially the Hornets. This is when Jeremy Lin was having a really good season before he got injured, from my understanding. But you had Kemba being Kemba. You still had Al Jefferson on the team, Nicholas Batum, Jeremy Lin was on the squad, Spencer Hayes, Cody Zeller. This was a playoff team. It wasn't a great team, but it was a playoff team. That's why it's on this Hornets team. Not a bad one. Not a bad one at all. For the Jazz, John Stockton, AK-47 as a rookie with Karl Malone. Obviously, Karl Malone and John Stockton were 40 at the time. And Mark Jackson is a really old team now that I look at it. Well, Deshaun Stevenson was on the team? I didn't know that. But you have AK-47, so like talent-wise, it's really cool, but just everyone was super old. But it's a cool team, I guess, in theory. Okay, so for the Kings, we had Ron Artest's best season with the Kings, with Sharif Abdul-Rahim, Kevin Martin, who was already looking at he was a really good scorer at the time. Mike Bibby was on the squad. Another year where it was kind of like, this was after Chris Webber, so they like were trying to figure out what to do. But this is kind of a cool team like on paper. So for the Knicks, oh my gosh, any team with Melo, Amari Stoudemire, Tyson Chandler is so cool. And you had Marcus Camby, even though he was older, you had him. You had J.R. Smith, who was fantastic, Kenyon Martin, Rasheed Wallace, Jason Kidd, Raymond Felton, Quentin Richardson, and Amon Shumpert when he was a dunker like crazy. I mean, so cool team. One of my favorite Knicks teams of all time. I'm happy this team's in the roster for sure. Okay, so for the Lakers, we have championship winning Lakers, from my understanding, with Kobe Bryant, Pau Gasol. Oh, they even have Kobe with hair. It was really good. Pau Gasol, Metta World Peace, Lamar Odom, Andrew Bynum, who was created, not a great version of him, but still. Matt Barnes on this team, Shannon Brown, who was a crazy dunker, Derek Fisher, Steve Blake, Luke Walton. I mean, there's a reason this team won a championship. All right, so for the Orlando Magic, we have, I don't think this is Finals Magic. It might be Finals Magic. I'm not 100% sure, but Dwight Howard, Hedo Turkoglu, Rashard Lewis, Jameer Nelson, Marcin Gortat, Courtney Lee. I think this was Finals Magic. That's crazy. Michael Petrus, JJ Redick. This was Finals Magic. Ooh, dude. If there's a team 2K needs to add today, it's probably this team. I don't know why it's not in the game in the first place. This is such a cool team. Okay, so for the Dallas Mavericks, we have Dirk Nowitzki, Jerry Stackhouse was on the team, Jason Terry when he was still on a tear, Josh Howard was on the team, Devin Harris. You know, to be honest, I don't know why they chose this team over the Mavericks team. The Mavericks don't have that many crazy teams history-wise, so that's why I kind of get why they don't have that many. But still, I mean, this isn't the coolest team ever either. So this is the Nets team when they made the crazy trade and sold their entire future for old Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett. But you have Brook Lopez, who was the best net player of all time by that point, Paul Pierce, Joe Johnson, Kevin Garnett, AK-47, Darren Williams. Wasn't Darren Williams better than Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett that year? But whatever. Mason Plumlee, Jason Terry, Sean Livingston was on this team. Like, this really good team, but they were old, and so they couldn't do anything. Okay, so for the Nuggets, we have Carmelo Anthony's. I believe this is the year. Oh, this is rookie season Carmelo? Okay, so rookie season Nuggets with Melo, Marcus Camby, Andre Miller, who was one of the best point guards of all time now. If you look at the stats wise. Kenny Martin, the nails on this team. Earl Boykins, is like he is 5'5", sick. This is a cool team. I like this one. All right, so for the Pacers, there's so many Pacers teams that have been added. I think this is a team that went to the finals against the Lakers. I believe, but I'm not 100% sure. But we have Reggie Miller, amazing face scan of Reggie. Rick Smits, Jalen Rose when he had the most points per game on this team that went to the finals. That's insane. Mark Jackson, Dale Davis, Antonio Davis. What people don't know about this team is that Jalen Rose got MVP votes that year because he was playing that good. Like, he's such an underrated player all time if you think about it. Okay, for the Pelicans, it's a DeMarcus Cousins, Anthony Davis season with Drew Holiday. On paper, great team. In practice, both were injured and couldn't do anything. So for the Detroit Pistons, we have the Ben Wallace, Rip Hamilton, Chauncey Billups, Tayshaun Prince, Danny Manning. I don't think this is the year they won the championship, but I think this is the year they went to the finals, I believe. But I don't think they won the championship this year. But Ben Wallace was a defensive demon that year, so it's a cool team. All right, so for the Toronto Raptors, oh, it just kind of hurts to see this one. But DeRozan, Kyle Lowry, Donovan Valanciunas, like the Trinity. I used to always talk about these players on this team. It's such a cool team to talk about. Terrence Ross, when he got 50 points one time. James Johnson, Norman Powell was on this team. Patrick Patterson. Bismack Biyombo, who had a really good playoffs. Luis Scola, DeLon Wright, DeMar Carroll, Corey Joseph, and Bruno Caboclo. Every single one of those players is cool to use. This team couldn't do anything because of LeBron James. But besides him, they were amazing. So for the Houston Rockets, we have a Yao Ming, Tracy McGrady team with Juwan Howard. When did come in when someone was on the team? David Wesley was on the team as well. They already kind of have this team, but this one has Juwan Howard, which is cool. All right, so for the Spurs, you know, there's a lot of seasons the Spurs were good. I think this is 2007. I think. I'm not 100% sure. But you have Timmy, you have Manu, you have Tony, who was finals MVP that year. Bruce Bowen, who was an elite defender. Michael Finley, who played every minute of every possible minute you could play. Robert Roy, who was a big shooter. Brent Berry was on this team. Matt Bonner. I mean, really cool team. One of the greatest Spurs teams of all time. With the Phoenix Suns, we have another Steve Nash and Mark Stoudemire team, but this one has Goran Dragic, Grant Hill, Jason Richardson. It was another year of the Suns trying to figure out why they can't win a championship. For the Oklahoma City Thunder, we have the Paul George, Melo, Russell Westbrook failure season with Steven Adams. It is what it is. It's a cool team on paper. They failed miserably. The Timberwolves. We have a Kevin Garnett team with Rod Strickland, Kendall Gill. If I'm going to be honest, this is a pretty bad team, but whatever. It's been added. There's not a lot of Timberwolves teams you can add, so deal with it. For the Portland Trail Blazers, we have Rasheed Wallace as the best player when Zach Randolph was also a really, really good rookie on the team. Sabonis was still on the team at the time, and Damon Stoudemire was playing well. Really cool team to see. I like this one a lot. And Scottie Pippen was on the team as well. Really, really cool team. This Warriors team of Baron Davis. Is this the We Believe season? Well, they already have this team, don't they? With Baron Davis, Steven Jackson, Monte Ellis, Al Harrington, Matt Barnes. But I guess this is the one without Josh Richardson. That's all that is. Marco Bellinelli was on this team, though. I didn't know that. And then finally, the Wizards team. This one is John Wall, Bradley Beal, Bojan Bogdanovic, Kelly Oubre, Brandon Jennings. Not too long ago, but this team was pretty good and won a couple. I think it won the first round this year, I think. But this is when John Wall was the best player, and that's really all there is to say about these teams. Super cool teams. There's a lot of them that I personally like. What's my favorite? I like that they added this Raptors one because it does matter. It's a pretty important one. I like this Pacers one because Jalen Rose and Reggie Miller were really good at the time. This Nets team on paper is sick. The Magic team and the Lakers team, obviously. The Knicks team is one of the best teams in my opinion. And I like the Sixers one. Those are my favorite. What about you, though? Are you going to use them? Leave it in the comments below. And if you like this channel, please give it a sub. And I'll see you guys next time.